Here's a professionally made but unnecessary intro. So let's talk about figs. Let's talk about figs.
September 16th, 2025. Here's the row of last year's rooted cuttings. You can kind of see, and these are, again, topped. I've pinched most of these to establish lateral branching, but today we're going to get my first tasting ever of Marseille Black VS. So we have this one here, we've got one there, and we've got one down there. I have a couple more that have not fully ripened yet, and so we're going to taste a couple of these today. Marseille Black VS. This is a 20-month-old plant after rooting in my garage from a cutting that I got locally here. Let's take a taste. All right, so what we have here is Marseille Black VS. You can see a couple of representative examples here. Beautiful cracking. This is a Mount Etna fig, and there's a gajillion of them. So I kind of I know what to expect in terms of the flavor profile, but we'll see. Tight eye, delicate kind of velvety skin. This is from a rooted cutting from last January that was then up-potted into a 3-gallon pot in the middle of the summer last year. It's been there ever since. It will be up-potted into a 7-gallon this fall. And let's take a look. I mean, this is exciting. I like a good Etna fig. So let's weigh this one. We can weigh a couple of them. So this one is 27 grams. This one is 25 grams. So typical, smaller Etna size. Let's cut into this one. And let's just cut into all of them. I have one more that I cut into over here already. And so we'll put all of these here for the group picture. Let's cut this one down the middle. And again, I've bagged all of these. This one might not be as ripe. It was the least dense of the three. All right, so there is your group picture of the Mount Etnas. So again, since I suck at the bricks anyways, I want to get an average bricks of these three because it's just good to know. Me messing up at guess that bricks doesn't really help anything. So this one looks to be the sweetest. And what I'll do is I'll put this one there. I'm not going to play. Let's just see what this one shows. 19.2 for that one. And then this is the least ripe of the three. Okay, this one is 17.6. This one's probably going to be around that. It has the similar amount of not a lot of like nectar or syrup here. So we'll see if this one's like 18-ish. This one is... All right, well, my microphone died, so I'm going to pick up where it last cut off, which was I went ahead and tasted these three, and you saw the bricks levels for the three different figs I cut into. So from 16 to 19, somewhere, not horribly sweet, but decent amount of sugar. And so what I noticed for all three of these, velvety skin, and right underneath the skin, a little bit of chew to the wall of the fig, which was pleasant. There wasn't any stringiness or anything like that. Small seeds, but moderate crunch. Definitely you have a pleasant crunch in your mouth. The two riper ones were a little bit thicker, the ripest one, this one especially, very, very syrupy and delicious. And whereas the other Etnas that I've had in the past or that I've tasted so far this year, they're very strawberry forward. This one has some strawberry, but it's much more pronounced raspberry to me. I noticed raspberry here. Um, the least ripe one had a little vegetal greenness to it, but all of them very pleasant, no acidity at all, super smooth, and just another solid Etna. I mean, the nice thing about this fig is it is purported to be fairly cold hardy. Um, Etnas aren't known for their Breva production, but this is a decently early time for middle of September here in Oregon, and it's a very vigorous tree. More than any of my other trees, it's extremely vigorous. It definitely wants to grow, grow, grow. So I've actually topped this tree twice this year to drive production into lateral branching, but also the fruit. So we'll see what my family thinks about this. I think this is a delicious fig. I'm happy I have this one. And again, my goal over time is to go through and let all of the Etnas do what they do. And I've got, a dozen or so varieties and taste them all. And then once I find one that I like, then I don't need a dozen Etnas. Nobody needs a dozen Etnas. And so, and again, my Marseille Black VS might be different than someone else's 10 miles from here because there is going to be plant to plant variability. But I think this is a solid fig. I like the little bit of raspberry that I taste that I haven't tasted in other Etnas. We'll see what everyone thinks. So this is a solid option for northern climates if you're going to grow into a pot. Um, it's a very pleasant mouthfeel, pleasant taste, and I'm excited I just ate it. Have a great rest of the night, everyone.